Good evening everyone ja hyvää iltaa. Toivoisin, että voisin olla henkilökohtaisesti kanssanne tänä iltana Kuparisaaressa. Kiitos kutsusta. On suuri kunnia saada tuoda terveiset itsenäisyyspäivän juhlaan Hancockiin. God kväll. Tack för inbjudan till min första självständighetsfest i Hancock. Jag önskar att jag kunde vara med i Kuparisaari ikväll och delta i festigheterna. Det är en stor ära att få säga några ord. Good evening, Copper Country. What an honor it is to be with you all tonight. Well, at least virtually. My name is Tommy Flanagan, and I am the executive director of the Finlandia Foundation National. And now comes the part where I give you an excuse as to why I can't be there with you in person, but I'm pretty sure I have a good excuse. Certainly, I don't need to tell you all, the people of Hancock, that it's Finnish Independence Day. And working for an organization like this with the tagline of being fiercely Finnish since 1953, this really is a busy time of year. I've had the honor this year of traveling to different parts of Finnish America to celebrate the day. I attended the Finlandia Foundation Seattle, Washington chapter event on Saturday, and then the next day got to celebrate in Berkeley, California at the historic Finnish Center, together, the Finnish Hall, together with the Finlandia Foundation National Performer of the Year, Ida Metsberg. Today, I'm attending the festivities at the residence of the Consul General of Finland in Los Angeles with Ambassador Okko-Pekka Salmimies. However, this engagement tonight, the one that you're all sitting at listening to my recorded remarks, is by far the most historic of these events. Historic has certainly been the word of the year up in Copper Country and across Finnish America. The closure of Finlandia University was certainly a historic moment for an institution with over a century in operation. But as some might believe, things sort of have a balance in some grander scale. So the tragic and emotional historic moment actually gave rise to something new. Finlandia Foundation National made the decision to purchase the most important remnants of the university, the most important parts of our shared history, a particular piece of the greater American story represented in the collection of the Historic Archive right here in this building. At the beginning of March, Finlandia Foundation National launched an effort to save the Finnish American Heritage Center, Finnish American Folk School, Finlandia Art Gallery, Northwind Books, the Finnish American Reporter, and the Price of Freedom War Museum. We are now in the throes of a campaign to raise an initial $3 million to do just that and ensure that these entities remain into the future for all of us as well as generations to come. But I'm not here solely to talk about that effort tonight. Finnish and Finnish American history is embedded into the fabric of the Keweenaw and across the upper Midwest. And you're all sitting there shaking your heads going, yeah, we know that. But you've got to understand something. I'm not from Copper Country. But when I visited Copper Country for the first time in August, I truly experienced something unique. For someone like me, a first and a half generation Finnish American, maybe with a dad from rural Montana and mom from Finland, I recognized parts of Finnish culture that felt so familiar in Copper Country, although I'd never been there. A certain way of being, a humbleness among the people, Finnish flags, surnames, and saunas in a density I am not used to seeing outside of Finland. The more I learn about the Upper Peninsula, the more I realize how inextricable the Finnish American story is from the local history of the region and beyond. In fact, what I recently learned is more evidence supporting my personal awakening to the Finnishness of the UP. I was told that you have celebrated Finnish independence in Hancock every year since Finnish independence 106 years ago. Now, I can't say with any certainty or authority that Hancock is the only place in the US where this is the case, but something seems awful special about that when you take into consideration the unique Finnishness culturally and historically in that region. And although this will be the first Independence Day celebration without Finlandia University, we still gather in honor of this past, of our deep Finnish heritage. Let this be the first of many, many more to come in this time-honored tradition. Finnish independence in the United States is pretty unique. Beyond being solely about Finnish independence, it offers us a chance to also reflect on the decades of connection between the US and Finland, a partnership that has grown ever closer through the decades. Over the course of this last year, I have learned a lot and very quickly about Finnish American connections. And there are so many examples I could pick to bring up here, but one really does stick out to me. Back in 1939, US President Hoover took an interest in Finland. Of course, since its independence, Finland had been embroiled in civil war that sharply divided the country, and the events of the late 30s had the country really on edge. President Hoover, after having visited Finland, witnessed the shared values of freedom and liberty among Finns, something they shared with Americans. So convinced and moved by the connection, President Hoover actually initiated a Finnish relief fund and was named honorary head of the Help Finland group in 1939, meant to help raise funds for Finland during and in the aftermath of the Winter War. Over the course of several years, the funds together raised nearly $3 million in aid for Finland. Now, does $3 million sound familiar to anybody? Although adjusted to today's dollars, this would be a much greater value. The poetic rhyming of a $3 million Finnish relief fund campaign in 1939 to our own $3 million Saving Finland in America campaign is not lost on me. The Finnish Relief Fund then continued through UNICEF, which Finland then became a contributing member of in the 1950s, another Finnish trait that's not lost on me, paying back and paying forward anything received. As interest in helping rebuild Europe became less and less important in the post-war US, relief packages from Finnish Americans to help Finland continued well into the 1950s. That is a powerful Finnish-American connection. The Finnish community in the US is diverse. This is often a strength, but sometimes it can be a barrier as well. I think we've all ran into that situation before where somebody from modern day Finland talks about how things are in Finland now versus a third generation Finnish American talking about the way things might have been in Finland. And sometimes these things are different, sometimes they're the same. But it's not just nisu, pulla, sisu, and sauna. We are a community made up of individuals as diverse as any other group in the US. Independence Day gives us all, Finns across the world and friends and supporters of Finland, a chance to come together to remember and honor the story of Finnish independence. The independence story is a uniquely human one for Finland, for the US, and for many other countries around the world. The journey to independence and the effort to maintain it continue to be relevant and vitally important stories in our world today. The age-old story exposes that people across the planet of every culture have similar dreams to be independent. The value of independence, the freedom to express ourselves, determine our own futures individually and collectively, and the freedom from oppression of others is something that Americans, Finns, and countless others across the world have in common. When we look at events around the world today, with our friends in Ukraine being case in point, it is essential that we come together around the topic of independence, the advancement of democracy for others and ourselves. And this might sound like a tall order, but this is what we all can do, even in Hancock, Michigan, as you have been doing for over 100 years. Now, I am neither a historian nor an expert in Finnish society of 1917. I have no stories of the Winter War to pass along to you that you have not already heard. I certainly don't need to explain the unique Finnish character to all of you in this room tonight. Instead, I'm here as a product of Finnish independence. My life has been shaped by those events that took place in Finland that laid the groundwork for building it into the country it is today. I'm also an example of a Finnish American connection, migration, and democracy. And the great thing is, I'm not the only one. Everyone listening today, all of us, share a part of this story in some way. And the very building we're in, the Finnish American Heritage Center, and the culture and history located there, houses and preserves a specific and unique part of that history, the Finnish American one. Even the records of President Hoover, 1939 effort for raising relief funds for Finland. So, kiitos, tack, thanks again for allowing me to share some of my reflections with you today. Thank you for gathering again this year to celebrate Finnish independence. Finlandia Foundation National is so excited to be a part of the community in Houghton, Hancock, and we look forward to working together in the foreseeable future. We are committed to preserving and building upon the unique Finnish story of Finnish America and connecting to contemporary Finnish topics. And this work will require all of us together. Happy Independence Day, hyvää itsenäisyyspäivä ja glad självständighetsdag.